Imagine a woman trying to buy groceries in a store when, out of nowhere, she finds herself summoned to a place populated by yummy, sexy furry men whose sole aim is to repopulate their village, using her as a breeding tool. What will happen to her? Let's find out. The story starts off in a land where furry men exist, and here we can see a group of beastmen called the Winged Lion Clan, who are offering fruits and vegetables to their god. All of them are worried since one of their females has fallen sick. They know their clan has few females to begin with, and now that they are falling sick one after another, they wonder if their clan is doomed. Some men believe that their beast god won't give up on them. The only way to ensure their survival is to continue worshipping him, knowing that he will surely bless them. So, one of the priests of the clan prays to the almighty peace god, begging for their plan and praying for their overcoming of their hurdle. All the villagers join in as well, praying to be blessed through their difficult times, all of them bowing down as they offer fruits and vegetables to their god. Suddenly, a cloud forms and lightning appears, striking their offering. All of them are surprised when they see a beautiful blonde girl sitting on the offering table, asking where she is, mentioning that she knows she was out shopping and wondering how she appeared there. This girl's name is Jane Meyson, and we can just call her Jane. All the villagers rejoice at the god's offering, believing that the beast god has answered their prayers, and they are relieved that there is hope for their Winged Lion Clan. They are surprised by how beautiful the girl is. They have never seen such a beautiful female in their lives. Even the animals around her agree as they all flock to her. The village priest bows down, thanking the beast god for saving their clan. Jane is confused about what's going on, unfamiliar with their god and clan customs. She appears surprised and wonders if she has traveled through time and space. The old chief grabs Jane's hand with desperation and tells her that it's up to her to save the clan. He explains that they are running out of time, pointing out the most superior males in their clan and urging her to choose one as her mating partner. Jane is genuinely surprised by his suggestion, as the topic of mating partners comes out of nowhere. The chief then showcases 3 men from their village, all handsome and strong. One man boasts about being the strongest male in the clan. The second tries to impress Jane by claiming he is the biggest in the entire clan, and the third courts her by declaring she's so beautiful that he is the only one worthy of her. The 3 men begin to fight over Jane, each vying to be chosen as her mate. Confused, Jane asks them to stop fighting, stating that she doesn't want to choose any of them for now. The old priest overhears this and questions what she means. He asks if she doesn't find any of the males in the clan worthy of her. Nervously, Jane explains that it's not that she finds them unworthy, but that everything has happened so suddenly, and she's not mentally prepared for what's happening. The old man insists that it's the will of the beast god for her to choose a mate today. He forcefully grabs Jane, trying to compel her, while Jane pleads for him to stop. Jane tells them that she doesn't want to hand over her body without knowing anything first. She wrestles free and manages to escape. The priest shouts for her not to run, but running away seems like the only natural reaction for Jane. She questions why she should stay and be used as a tool against her will. While trying to flee, Jane loses her footing and trips near the cliff's edge. Everyone watches in horror as she falls, pleading for someone to save her. They know some of their men can fly, but they fear they won't reach her in time. Jane, feeling incredibly unlucky, wonders if she's simply going to fall to her death after unexpectedly time traveling and falling off a cliff. Suddenly, a man with beautiful white wings catches her, surprising and relieving her. As she opens her eyes, she sees a man with beast ears and beautiful angel wings, his toned abs visible. The villagers rejoice as their Lord Clementino, known as the guardian angel of their clan, saves Jane from certain death. Jane is captivated by Clementino's handsome appearance, with his white fur, hair, and wings. Overwhelmed by shock, she faints. Later, the real chief of their village scolds the old man, admonishing him for daring to force a female to choose a mating partner. She blames him, expressing that if Jane had died, it would have been his fault. The old man apologizes, explaining that he acted out of anxiety and only for the good of their clan. However, the old woman chief disagrees vehemently, accusing him of dooming their clan. She asserts that across the entire beast continent, females have the right to choose their mating partners, and no male can force them. She roars at the old man like a lion, questioning if he has forgotten the will of the beast god. He admits that he has forgotten it. The queen then berates the old man, asking him how dare he force Jane despite remembering it. She questions if he is trying to make their winged lion clan a target of public criticism. She warns him that he is starting to act independently and may soon make decisions for the clan if she were to spare the rod. The old man flees as the old woman gives chase. He pleads with the chief to spare him, admitting his wrongdoing and promising never to do it again. Meanwhile, Clementino watches Jane, captivated by her beauty even as she sleeps. Moments later, Jane wakes up to noise. Clementino informs everyone that Jane has woken up. Still groggy, Jane asks Anna what happened to her. She remembers falling off the cliff and being rescued by the handsome, angelic guardian Beastmen. The old woman kicks the old man in front of Jane, shouting at him to apologize to her. The old man tries to approach Jane, but she is still in shock at the sight of the chief. Traumatized by him, she attempts to retreat, telling him not to come closer and that she doesn't want to choose a mating partner, urging him not to force her. The old man kneels down and apologizes for his actions. He bows, expressing regret for forcing her against the will of the beast god, and asks for forgiveness. Jane is surprised by this sudden change in behavior and wonders why he is apologizing now after earlier incidents. She also ponders his mention of the will of the beast god. The female chief then approaches Jane, reassuring her not to be scared. She explains that they have reprimanded the old man and taught him a harsh lesson. She promises Jane that he will never dare to force her again. She assures Jane that in Beastmen clans, females are treated like precious treasures, doted on and pampered, and that no one will dare to bully her. The chief radiates kindness and friendliness as she speaks to Jane. She explains that Jane has the right to choose her mating partner, as it is the will of the peace god, and that no one can disobey it. Jane realized that females hold such a high status in the beast continent, and she was thrilled to hear what the female chief said. She noticed that the beast continent is already quite civilized. However, Jane remained silent, causing the female chief to become nervous. She worried that Jane was still angry and glared at the old man with anger for disobeying the will of the beast god. She informed him that the clan no longer had a place for him and asked him to leave. The priest was shocked to hear that the chief was expelling him from the clan. He pleaded with her not to do it, fearing he would be killed by other beastmen if he left, and expressing that he didn't want to die. Recognizing that Jane was still angry and that the old man must be held accountable for his actions, the chief insisted that he leave. She warned him that if he didn't leave voluntarily, she would have Clementino drive him out. When the man still didn't leave, the chief called out for Clementino. Without hesitation, Clementino assured her that he would obey her orders. Jane felt nervous, and the priest grew increasingly anxious and scared as he begged for the chief's mercy, pleading for her to spare him. Jane felt sorry for the priest and asked the chief to wait. She agreed to spare him, explaining that she wasn't angry and that he had nothing to do with her falling off the cliff. The chief heard Jane's plea and, if the girl said so, agreed that the priest could stay in the clan. The priest bowed down and expressed his gratitude to Jane with utmost respect. Feeling uncomfortable, Jane told the priest he didn't need to keep bowing like that. Meanwhile, Clementino observed Jane's kindness and beauty, causing him to blush. In Jane's mind, she wondered if she was being set up by the old chief. If so, she couldn't sit idly by and watch him get chased out of the clan. She then insisted they stop calling her female and revealed she had a name. As she was about to say her name, she slipped, but fortunately, Clementino was there to catch her again. Jane accidentally straddled him, locking eyes with Clementino. He felt her body and sensed a sweet smell, her tender softness drawing him closer, wishing he could keep holding her. Jane then told Clementino he was hurting her with his tight grip. Apologizing, Clementino released her. She mentioned that he saved her earlier and thanked him. Curious about how to address him, Clementino introduced himself. The chief admired Clementino's beauty, calling him their clan's guardian angel. Among all the men in the clan, he could fly the fastest and was the best fighter. Jane introduced herself as Jane Meyson and expressed her pleasure at meeting them, offering her hand for a handshake. Clementino, unfamiliar with the gesture, didn't understand its meaning. so Jane explained how they introduce themselves and shake hands in her culture. Clementino grabbed her hand, and she further explained that it is a basic courtesy where she comes from, a friendly gesture between two people meeting for the first time. Clementino tightened his grip on her hand, blushing as he felt how soft and smooth her hand was, almost as if there were no bones in it. Jane felt a bit of pain but didn't mind, thinking it was like a scene from Tarzan. She thought perhaps she should adapt to the local customs and practice them instead. So, she asked how villagers expressed their friendliness. Still feeling a bit of pain, Jane wondered why Clementino used so much force in everything he did, causing her hand to hurt. Nevertheless, the chief suggested she try their custom, where they express friendliness by licking each other's cheeks, part of their winged lion plan. And of course, this really surprised our girl when she heard about the custom of licking each other's cheeks. She even asked Clementino to demonstrate it. Now Jane realized how foolish she was to think they were like lions, and she regretted even asking. But she had no choice but to distance herself from the chief. Clementino came closer to Jane, and she felt uncomfortable. She told them to forget about it, saying they had already gotten to know each other and there was no need for such trouble. Clementino felt sad about that but agreed. Jane noticed his disappointment but was afraid he might be forceful and insist on the cheek licking for days, and she needed her good looks to survive in this world. She then asked the chief if she could be introduced to their clan to learn more about them. As the chief was about to explain everything, a crowd called out, demanding a female, repeatedly stating their desire for one. This angered the chief, who demanded to know what was happening outside. One of the guards informed him that all the males in their clan had gathered, expressing their desire for the female to be their mating partner. Jane heard this and was afraid, asking if they were still fixated on that idea. The chief, sensing her fear, assured her not to worry, emphasizing that no one could force her into anything and that he would be there to speak on her behalf. The chief recognized that the Beastmen were consumed by their primal instincts, constantly focused on mating. As they stepped outside, a crowd of Beastmen awaited Jane. The chief shouted at them, demanding to know the cause of the commotion. Jane, too, was surprised to see so many people or creatures gathered for her, which made her fearful. Everyone gazed at her, utterly captivated by her beauty. They saw her as a goddess, so stunning that they now believed the rumors about her. They were determined to make her their mating partner. Jane observed the situation unfolding before her and found it all to be quite absurd. She wondered if their hormones had overridden their brains. The chief, enraged, shouted for silence, asserting that Jane had made it clear she did not wish to choose a mating partner and that none of them were permitted to force her. He ordered them all to retreat. However, another man countered the chief, stating that they were not attempting to force her but merely pursuing her, arguing that pursuing her was not contrary to the will of the beast gods. Moreover, all the others joined in against the chief, protesting his decision to take Jane away to find a mating partner. They voiced their complaints, expressing their disagreement. Regrettably, the chief conceded to their demands, acknowledging that they had a point. As long as they did not force her, every male had the right to pursue her. Feeling overwhelmed, Jane turned to the chief for guidance. He advised her to simply choose a male from their clan as her mating partner. He explained that doing so would give the others hope and make them back off. Otherwise, if she remained without a mating partner, they would continue to harass her endlessly. Jane sighed and reluctantly agreed. In her mind, she decided she would choose someone to deal with the situation at hand. She planned to find a way to reject the chosen mate when the time came. The chief was pleased to hear her decision, as were the other males, considering it a success. As Jane contemplated her choice, one of the males in the clan attempted to charm her, claiming he was the most gentle of them all. However, another, a muscular man in his 20s, disagreed with this femboy, stating that being gentle was pointless and that she was strong enough to protect herself. Lastly, an entitled individual shocked everyone by demanding that Jane give herself to him so he could create a new clan. Jane couldn't accept such a bold and presumptuous request, so she firmly declined. Turning to the chief once more, Jane asked if she was truly allowed to choose anyone. The chief proudly affirmed that as long as the chosen mate was a male from the Winged Lion clan, she had his approval. And with that decision made, Jane chose Clementino, the handsome and strong member of the clan. The other males were shocked by her choice, realizing they couldn't oppose her decision. They understood why she chose Clementino. He was not only the most handsome, but also the strongest in their clan. Even the chief was surprised and asked Jane if she was sure about choosing Clementino as her partner. And thus, I conclude this first episode of our new manhwa. What will happen next? Is Clementino truly worthy of Jane? Are there other handsome men like him in the clan? Is Clementino going to clap our girls sooner or later and make furry babies? Tune in next time for the next exciting episode of this awesome manhwa. Thank you for watching.